Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. I've been actually sitting here for about 45 minutes trying to figure out what am I going to talk about this morning. Um, it's kind of like a landmine of what to say because no matter what you say, people are going to take some of the words that you say and try and use it against you. And nobody will be happy with anything you say. But you know what? I'm going to do the best that I can. That's all I can do, and that's the best that I can. There are people out protesting, and I am all for people protesting. Everybody, because of the way this country was built, our founding fathers gave us the right to freedom of speech. Our country was built because of revolution. If you look at the Boston Tea Party, that was a protest, riot, whatever you want to call it, against England and suppression over taxes. What I'm not for is violence, looting, stealing, and people being opportunistic. Hey, everybody's over here, all the police and all the focus and stuff. I'm going to go steal me some shit over here. Or other people that are there to agitate. I was sitting here watching Santa Monica yesterday. Santa Monica because I remember being in Santa Monica there with my daughter and stuff and walking around and having lunch and going shopping with her, enjoying this great country. And I'm watching all these protesters that are kneeling, hand in the air, peaceful, beautiful thing. This is what America was founded on. And then hours later, I see at the shopping promenade, I've shot videos and stuff there. I see idiots in there breaking into a shoe store, people just running out with stacks and stacks of shoes. This is not the rule. These are more of the exceptions. 99% of the people that are there are trying to protest for what's right. But we focus in on the idiots that are out there looting. The idiots that are out there, they're just saying, hey, I can go beat some people up. Like it's the purge. And when you go on the internet, there's so much stuff. This is where I always say, understand what you read and don't just rely on one thing. Now, I'm not far from DC. I'm watching the news last night. I know what's going on. I got friends that are DC police officers. You see, 11 o'clock, police start pushing people back. There's fires going on downtown. I wake up this morning, I found out the White House went dark. 1 o'clock, they turned off the lights. And trending on Twitter is, that the FBI showed up, they put jammers on, and there's no more reports of anything. All the live feeds died, and all these people are missing. And then you see pictures on the internet of the Washington Monument, looks like on fire and stuff. And you come to find out that these are pictures from the movie Designated Survivor. Now, I don't know if they used jammers last night, and I would be surprised if they didn't, because we're talking about being right there at the White House with crowds and everything else, and we know that the bottom line is this is our seat of our government and our power structure, and the White House is not going to fall. So you got to understand, you're out at night past the curfew, hey, that's not the way. It's not the way. You can expect to have problems. And understand, People are using what's happening. They're picking and choosing what they show you to get a reaction. Get the whole story. Get the whole story and understand what this is about. That's all I implore everybody to do. Be careful what you see and what you believe from one source. Check, double check, recheck before you set in your mind what you think. So, it's the 1st of June. The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock with Dak Prescott. We got 6 weeks until July 15th to get Dak Prescott's deal done. It's not a lot of time. But as Jerry Jones said it, deadlines make deals get done. Now, thus far, it hasn't hurt either side much because we're not really doing regular OTAs. We're not out on the field working out with guys. That's where it's more and more important. Now, we've got virtual workouts that are happening in classroom and book work and stuff. The thing that the Dallas Cowboys probably did that was the smartest thing that they probably did going into the situation was retaining Kellen Moore. This was basically a contingency plan that if we can't get the deal done right away, if Dak Prescott holds out, we still have the same offensive coordinator, terminology, and everything else that will go into it. So it'll be an easy transition as opposed to all new coaching staff coming in, all new system, all new terminology that comes in and changes, and your quarterback is holding out or not there for OTAs, and now you're way behind. Because it's a lot different getting a running back up to speed or a defensive end than it is a quarterback. And so the Cowboys kind of had that plan, I think, all along, and that's, again, one of the reasons why they held on to Kellen Moore. The good news, of course, is we do know that Dak Prescott, he's going to make sure that he's ready to go, especially if it ends up being that he plays on a franchise tag. You can best believe, just like he played last year on the last year of his deal, that he is going to be 100% the best that he can possibly be, because the better he plays, the better he'll get paid by the Cowboys or by somebody else. And this is where the dynamics still just don't make sense for the Cowboys to continue to wait. Because you can honestly look and say, the Cowboys, let's say if he had a 4-year deal and they made it last year, them waiting another year has already cost them about $25 million. Let's just say roughly $5 million a year, because right now you could have got him last year for probably 30 or under on a 5-year deal. That's 25. If you end up waiting another year, might be another 25 million. And these are situations where you can take a look at Kirk Cousins. The Redskins may not have been sold on Kirk Cousins. They end up paying him $20 million and then $24 million, right? $44 million for 2 years, and then he walked with nothing in return. Then they pay Alex Smith $70-some million. He only plays a half a season. Between those 3 years, just think about this. Between those 3 years, the Redskins spent $115 million because they're still paying on Alex Smith. But that's what they spent. And still, you're not sure they have a quarterback yet with Haskins. So you can throw in 3 years. The Redskins spent $115 million and a first-round draft pick and still aren't sure they have a quarterback. You have a guy in your house who has been playing dirt cheap, who has done his job. And mind you, let me say this. I think Dak Prescott, in games where the defenses give up 30 or more points, is third in win percentage. So that's shootout games. Let me say it again. In games that your defense has given up more than 30 points, he's third in winning percentage, excuse me. I don't care what quarterback you go out there and look at. There will be areas that you can find that they're not the best at. You have to do is take the overall picture of a player. Some are better at deep passes. Some are better at shorter passes. Some are better with their legs. And a guy who is like Cam Newton, who's great at deep passing, sometimes the short routes are more of a problem. Sometimes a guy like Joe Montana, he's great at the short passes, but doesn't have the big arm to go real deep. And that's where coaching comes around and realizes, what are the things that I can do with this guy that makes you win? And we've had a lack of that. So, distraction, Jerry, the country is at unrest. The country is going crazy. You could do the country a favor and get something else to focus on by getting Dak Prescott's deal done. That would be huge. All right, guys. Everybody, be safe out there. And make sure you check out what you hear and make sure it's real before you believe it. I'll see you guys soon.